What up, K Crew? Kevin Lee here. Thank you for joining me today. I just wanted to take a second to share one of my favorite tools when it comes to content creation. And rightfully so, it's probably been at the heart of my workflow for a really long time. So with that, I'm going to share with you Descript. What is Descript, you ask? Well, Descript is actually, it's kind of hard to describe what Descript is. Well, Descript, for what they advertise, is kind of for podcasters and content creators, but it's so much more than that. It's really a really amazing video, audio content tool. You put video, audio files into it, it transcribes it, timestamps it, but even further than that, it allows you to edit with it just by moving the text around. So you don't actually have to be a full-scale video editor to actually use Descript. So let me kind of show you the interface and then show you a little bit of how I use it. So Descript is an NLE, so a non-linear editor or whatever they call it. And so right now what it's actually doing is it's recording this session and it's transcribing everything as it goes along. So once I stop recording here, it's going to actually show up here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open a new project. Okay. And so here in Descript, I can pretty much just take anything, like any existing video file. And like this one right here, I actually recorded with somebody, brought it in. Okay. I'm going to select the speaker, or create a new speaker or detect speaker, but I'm going to let it do its thing. And I believe there is either a free trial or a free version of Descript that you can get. And if you decide that you want to use this professionally, there's a subscription for, I believe, $15 a month and $30 a month US. And so with the $30 a month one, it's the full production deluxe one. And it has so many cool tools, but what I love most about this is this right here. So right here, I'm just going to, here's the title and then here's the transcription. You saw it firsthand. You watched me upload this thing and within seconds it has a transcription. So with this, I can play it back.
Absolutely not true. When it comes to HELOCs, there's several different investors that will lend you completely different guidelines, completely different requirements.
Okay, now this is my friend Zahami. Love the guy, but you can barely understand a word he says. So with this, the fact that Descript has done anything in terms of figuring out what he's saying and actually creating a transcript out of that, it's pretty impressive. I would imagine somebody who's never worked with Zahami before would have a really hard time listening and typing out what he's saying. The AI that's behind this is really, really brilliant. So here, I'm just going to do a quick edit. So I noticed that he's talking about HELOCs, and I know that that's incorrect spelling. So I can double click this, hit C to correct, and then type it in. And that's it. There's your correction. And here there's some silence right here. I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And you can create, I forgot what they called it, but sections or segments or something like that, or scenes. It's called scenes. And the way that you create new scenes, it's just the same thing as creating new camera angles or new whatever, new scenes itself. So here we're going to start with the starting scene. And then I'm going to open a scene. I'm going to close the scene. And that's all you have to do. So every time you hit a slash, it creates a new scene. So here he says, absolutely not true. You know what I'm going to do with that? I am going to scale it up and punch in. And watch this.
Absolutely not true. When it comes to HELOCs, there's several.
Isn't that crazy? So we just basically punched in, punched out. And as a matter of fact, you can even click on the timeline in the bottom left-hand corner. And now you have his timeline right here. And you can actually see the waveforms. You can see when he's actually talking, not talking. So let's just go ahead and
several
continue.
Different investors that will lend you completely different guidelines.
He said guidelines, not guidance. Once again, knowing him for the length of time that I've known him, I can understand what he's saying.
Guidelines, completely different requirements. I got an investor that will allow you to use your partner's, your spouse.
Oh, so check this out. Okay, so that's known as a filler word. Well, there is a tool inside of Descript where you just go to Actions and you just click on Remove Filler Words, and you can actually predefine what your filler words are, but it already has a predefined list. So like, and even repeat words, Descript will actually remove it. So it found 5 filler words. So for Zahami, 5 filler words, pretty darn good. So I'm going to just go ahead and just get rid of it all by hitting remove all, or you can go one by one and actually remove it. But in this case, they're all uhs. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And by it removing the word it actually cuts the video and edits it down for you. So which is really, really brilliant. So let's go ahead and continue.
Completely different guidance, completely different requirements. I got an investor that will allow you to use your partner's, your spouse's.
So here, let's go ahead and remove this because he basically corrects himself here. So as you notice, as I selected that, it selected the spot in the timeline and it did that same exact thing. So it's really cool.
Requirements. I got an investor that will allow you to use your spouse's income while only using one person on the loan without the need of you doing any type of hard inquiry.
Let me just double check.
One person on the loan without the need.
One person on the loan. On the loan.
Without the need of you doing any type of hard.
Okay, so that pause was considered a finished sentence, but we're going to go ahead and fix that.
Any type of hard inquiry on your credit, so you can at least get the information that you need and get accurate numbers from the get-go.
And get accurate numbers.
Accurate numbers from the get-go. We don't even need your social.
So I can hit enter and then make a new slash and create a new scene. I just wanted to do that because I feel like there's a chance to punch in.
In most cases, those notes can close.
So I'm going to add a period here. So it's just like if you were actually working in a Word doc,
those notes can close
but you're actually working on a video.
Days. And they'll let you use whatever money gets deposited into your personal bank account. So for people that are self-employed that have been declined by credit unions or banks because the tax returns didn't show enough income, call me. I got investors that I'd make easier, so much easier.
So I'm going to assume that he said that will make it easier.
Easier, so much easier, especially with this technology. So there's definitely not all HELOCs are the same. Not all banks lend the same. If you've been disqualified for a bank because your credit scores are not 690, call me. We can work to credit scores as low as 620.
As low as?
As low as 620, especially if you have a ton of equity in your property. As long as we're the second lien on the property, we can definitely help.
Cool. So I'm going to cut here, close that. And so now we have a clean transcript. So is that it? No. So check this out. So obviously with Reels, social media, the trend today is to have captions. Well, you can easily add captions just by going here to the text and adding captions. And what's going to happen now is we actually have captions. But here's the deal. I don't want to use these captions. I want to use some of my predefined captions because I've created templates. So you can actually go ahead and create templates in here. And I already have one that's ready to go. I like this one. I can use this. This is cool. And then you can even change the font. So let's just say I want to use, I like using Babus New. I love that font. It works. It's clean, straightforward. And let's see if there's anything else I need to do here.
When it comes to,
and so notice here, because I created a new scene, it didn't go beyond here for the captions. So what I will do is after this scene, I'm going to go ahead and add some more captions, right? We just did the same one that he had over here. But what I could always do is just drag this all the way across this layer, and now it has the captions all the way across.
credit scores as low as 620, especially if you have a ton of.
I think that's pretty good.
declined by credit unions or banks because the tax.
So imagine just working with that alone. But if you listen to his audio, it doesn't sound very good because he's not using any kind of microphone. So let's go ahead and fix that. So I'm going to select all of this timeline, and there's a feature called Studio Sound in Descript. All you have to do is just click the button, and what it's going to do is it's going to mess with the equalizer and improve the sound of the voice. It's going to make it sound like less than a talking to the phone and more of almost a podcast studio level or quality sound, which is pretty slick. And it takes a minute or so.
Different investors that will lend you completely different guidance, completely different requirements.
Cool. Now, mind you, that's a little strong. I can also bring it back a little bit so that it still has some of that room tone.
Allow you to use your spouse's income while only using one person alone without the need of you doing any type.
I like it. So now we have that, but we want to add some music, right? And yes, you can always add music after the fact, but let's add some music here. So we already have some music here from Descript. Nah. Nope. These are all garbage. Sorry, I don't like this music. I'm going to add my own stuff from Artlist, which I have a subscription to Artlist. I love Artlist. If you have Artlist, this is what you should be working with. But let's go ahead and go through Artlist. I'm going to go through audio files. I have a bunch of stuff. Let's just go. What's course? Cool. Let's use that. And then, so I can add this, add it to the script, but I'm going to add it as a layer. Okay. So add new layer, add it there. So it's there now. And I'm going to add it to the beginning. Okay. And from start to finish, let's see. What is this? This doesn't belong here.
Absolutely not true.
Okay, cool. So here's the deal, though. You don't want the music to combat with the monologue, right? You don't want the voice to be drowned out by the music, and you want the music to still show up. There is a feature called ducking. And what you're going to do is you're going to select the timeline, the audio of the actual monologue, and you're going to hit ducking. Okay? You're going to hit that, and then you're going to lower you can either lower it all the way down to 10% or make it more like, I like it to sit around 16 to 17%. And what that's going to do is just bring the music up just enough so it's audible, but it doesn't drown out the main monologue.
Absolutely not true. When it comes to HELOCs, there's several different investors that will lend you completely different guidance, completely different requirements.
We're good. So all I have to do now is just export it. And so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to hit export. And actually, as a matter of fact, before I do that, I'm going to create a template off of this because I think I like where this is at. And chances are Zahami's going to be recording more of these like this. So I would rather use the same caption styles. I would rather use the same edits and certain features. And so even the same, the same aspect ratio. So here I'm going to go into these three dots and I'm going to save to template, create new template. And so it's adding the scene to the template. Now it's giving me the options. And I'm going to call this Zahami Talking Head Video Template. And then I'm going to save it, share with the drive. I'm going to publish the template. And it's saving. Done. So now moving forward, I can always use that template as the basis for my content. So I'm going to go ahead and hit publish because I like it. I think it's good where it's at. I'm going to change the resolution to max 1080p and make sure that the audio is at 4800 sample rate, 18 and 19 LUFS. Let's go 19 or 23. Cool. And then save the metadata, export. And I'm going to, this is kind of how I do this, but the Gracia team, this is where I save it. And then I'm going to save it based on the date. So 2024-03-28, Zahami, what was this? This was, all HELOCs are the same, change my mind. Oh, so by the way, I'm not gonna do that yet. Hold on. There's one more thing I need to add. So up here, I want to add a title. So all HELOCs are the same. Change my mind. All right. So that's massive, right? So let's go ahead and fix that. And I can select the text and I could do stuff with it. Or I'm going to do this. I'm going to add another title. Oh, change my mind. Okay. I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to extend this out. Let's see if I can get it. Nope. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Right? I think we're good here. Center that. Where's the center? There's the center. There's the center. Okay, cool. So where is that title? Where do I put that title at? It was at the beginning.
Absolutely not true. When it comes to HELOCs,
let's go ahead and extend this just a little bit further because I believe that this should be here for about 4 to 6 seconds. So now I have a title.
true. When it comes to HELOCs, there's several different
cool?
investors that will blend you.
Pretty cool. So yes, you could do this with other NLEs. Like you can definitely do this in CapCut, which I highly recommend. Like some things you might actually want to take into CapCut, and then some things you want to use in Final Cut, or in Descript. But in this case, we're just going to do it in CapCut. And so I'm going to go ahead and export this, right? Max, and yeah, save that there. Oh man, I just stopped exporting. Okay. And so it's doing what it's doing. So there you have it. In a matter of like 15 minutes, I was able to edit this thing down and actually talk you through the whole process while editing in Descript. Actually, what you don't know is I'm currently recording in Descript as I'm creating and editing in Descript. So as I was talking to you and making all these edits, I was actually recording into Descript. So what you saw is actually happening in real time as we're doing this. And so what I did was I recorded my introduction for this, which you saw, and then I stopped the recording in Descript and it transcribed that. And I started a new recording in this composition, doing the screen capture and me editing the other scene and everything. And then I stopped it, and then now I'm recording this. And so when I'm done here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything, add a little bit of studio sound to get rid of some of the noise floor, and then I'm going to put this out for you guys. Like I basically made a YouTube video in a matter of 15-20 minutes showing you how I use Descript to make talking head reels. Now, this is a very basic tutorial and walkthrough of the interface. There are much more things that you can do, much better things I could have done in this edit, but we don't have that kind of time, and I just really wanted to share this with you. So I hope you found value in this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a like, share it with others, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. Like, what would you like to see in another video coming up? It could be anything. Just ask. I would love to show you. I would love to share it with you. But until then, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.